Tell the truth.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to this channel.
Tell the truth.
BS3 Network. You are now tuned to the way you watch BS3 Network. Changing the way you listen to podcasts.
Information is power. Information is power.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
Information is power. Information is power. Information is power. Information is power.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
What's up, everybody? Peace. Everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience. I'm so glad that people are coming over to watch this particular video. This one, let me fix something right here. Bam, tell the truth. Look, I'm very happy to see that people are coming over. The lights hopefully will be going up on this particular broadcast today. I'm Information Man of the Information Man Show. I want to thank you all again out there in the chat room. Those that are listening out there on Roku TV, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, wherever you are in the world, I appreciate you being here. Today will be a very educational stream. It should hit at some very serious issues because we are in the year 2023 and we need to go forward with a different point of view, a different attitude. Now, I put in the chat room a poll, and I hope that everybody will participate in the poll. And I want you to be honest now. If you have a black physician, black female physician, black male physician, it doesn't matter, a black physician, a black doctor, a black MD. And that could be whether it be a dentist, an eye doctor, or your primary health doctor, whatever it may be. I want you to be honest because we want this poll to look legitimate. Because for those of you who do not have a black doctor that looks like yourself, after you hear the information that I'm about to present to you in the data, and I am going to cite my sources, it's going to make you rethink your life expectancy and whether you need to reevaluate whether you need to have a black doctor. Now, this isn't about hating on other people of other races. This is about what the data shows and how it lays it all out, particularly as it relates to black men. Because the truth of the matter is that black women, although there are health disparities in black women overall do a better job of focusing on their health needs a hell of a lot better than men do. And black women do a lot of better job, should I say. Let me get my English together here. Black women do a better job.
Tell the truth.
Than black men do when it comes to keeping up on their doctor's appointments, their checkups, and black women will talk to one another and verbalize their concerns and their issues. Black men, on the other hand, we're the ones that are dying. We're the ones that are suffering from a lot of disparities. Hang on for a minute. I want to grab something. I went over this once before when Kevin Samuels died. Now, we've had some prominent people on YouTube, whether you like them or not, that have passed away. You had Alan Rogers Curry, who just passed away. Of course, we have Kevin Samuels, who passed away. We have Sinful the P, who passed away. And This isn't, to me, it isn't about whether you like these individuals as YouTubers, as content creators. I don't care about your personal, what it shows me. And even off of YouTube, black men are dying at high numbers of all types of health disparities. It was Kevin Samuels on his show that not quoted, but he said that black women would die alone. If they're 35 years age and older, they are no good. And a lot of people were up in arms about that. There are people that agreed with his philosophy. There are certainly men and women who didn't agree with Kevin Samuels. And by the way, he ended up dying himself. And when I did my show about Kevin Samuels, I simply said, no, it is not black women that are dying alone. It is black men who are dying alone because we're dying of high health disparities. Now, this is not going to sound good to you. It's not going to go down like a burger and fries or a shake or something that you enjoy eating. It's not going to taste very well. But see, the truth is the truth.
Tell the truth.
And I can't sit up here and do a program and not tell you the truth about these situations. Let me fix something here. I want to make sure that I've got this going down here. Okay. I went over these disparities, and these are going to relate to what I'm about to tell you. Just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Share the video in your social media. If you got a Droid phone, you got a tablet, you got a desktop, you can simply click share and put it in your Instagram, put it in your Twitter. You can put this video in your Facebook or wherever you like to share content. You can also share this in your community tab if you are a content creator and you have a community tab. This is very important for all hands on deck. This is important for people that are on YouTube that look like me and you, and those of us that are not on YouTube that are just in our everyday life. Very important. This is one of the most, I believe, important videos of the week of the beginning of the year. Simply because without your health, you've got nothing. If you don't have health, you're not going to be up here doing streams and live streams. You're not going to be on people's panels talking because you ain't going to be around anymore to talk because your health is your damn wealth.
Tell the truth.
Now, when I went over this, I said 44% of black men are considered overweight, even though we spend so much time on these YouTube streets talking about, particularly in spaces where guys talk constantly about women. Where we say, oh, well, the women are overweight. No. The truth of the matter is that 44% of black men are considered overweight. 33.5% are considered obese. Black men suffer more preventable oral disease than is treatable. Black men have high suicide rates. I had a video about that. We saw what happened to Twitch boss. Mental health is another component to this, which is the leading cause of death between 15 and 24 years of age. 10th leading cause of our death. Heart disease at 23.7%. Black men in particular are dying from. Cancer at 20.2%. I went over these statistics before when I did that video about Kevin Samuels. Unintentional injuries at 7.9%. Homicide rates at 5.0%. Stroke at 4.9%. Diabetes. Oh my God, diabetes. A silent killer. Diabetes at 4.3%. Chronic low respiratory disease at 3.2%. Kidney disease at 2.6%. Let me know if you can hear my mic. Bless me with sevens in the chat room. Get the algorithms cranking. Get more people over here. 39 people watching so far. This is once again in the second week I'm doing a topic that doesn't go down very well with your fries and your shake. But it's the truth, because if you don't take this heed, you ain't going to be around on YouTube or anywhere for your family. I'm talking about black men in particular. Black women have their own health issues, but they do a better job than we do as black men with dealing with our health. Kidney disease at 2.6%, hypertension at 1.6%. Homicide, one. Now we know what homicides are about. It's other people who look like us that are killing us, and that's got to stop. So I wanted to go over that before I get into the meat of the content. I also want to read you this. I was going to do this a long time ago, ladies and gentlemen. New study shows that racism may shorten Black Americans' lifespan. That's the title of this article. If you want to look this up and read this for yourself, it's called The New Study Shows Racism May Shorten Black America's Lifespan. The study results link stress, and someone super chatted me, and what I want to do is I want to thank you for that super chat. Ray Alexander, who gave me a super chat, and what I'll do, Ray, is I'll go up in here and I'll read your super chat. I want to stay on point today because this information, I don't want to interrupt it with fanfare and all of that sort of stuff. But Ray gave me a super chat, $10 super chat. He said, yes, absolutely. Black American doctors who understand Black American people, our traditions and experiences can offer cultural competency, medical care that benefits Black Americans and patients. Yes.
Thank you for the super
Yes.
chat.
Let me do this. Let me say peace to Peggy Roster. M. Mills is in the house. Miss Mills is in the house. Bronx, Flat Power God, Empress, Goddess. We got my man Big Dog Philly OG. Check out his channel as well. Love that brother there. Does great work. We've got Jill Chocolate Boutique. Thank you for being here. Let me see who else I might have missed. Peanut May City. Peanut May City, thank you for being here. If you're in the house, Eugene Steele, I think, is here. Just Natural is in the house here. I'm looking at the board here, and we have so many fantastic people. We got BDBGP in the house. He's a gamer. That's my man, Beard Daddy, in the house. Peace to you, brother. Just Adrian, hey, Just Andrea, thank you for being here, sister. I thank you for being here, Just Andrea, for being in the house, because this is a very important stream today. I'm not going to take up all your time, but it's very important, and I want you to share this definitely in your social media as much as you possibly can. But let me go ahead just for a quick moment and give this brother just a little bit of taste of this.
Thank you for the super chat. Information is power. Thank you for the super chat.
Tell the truth.
All right. Thank you for that super chat, brother. I really appreciate that once more. Again, let's get back to the content, the meat of the content. And let me just say to you right here, the study result links stress from increased experiences with racial discrimination to more rapid aging in African Americans. African Americans who reported more experiences with racial discrimination are likely to age faster because of the stress, adding to evidence that racism is not only a social and moral dilemma in our society, but also a public health issue, a public health risk. According to an Auburn University study published, this was published a couple of years ago. According to the study, encountering racism can lead to higher levels of stress, which in turn cause cells. Check this out. The higher level of stress will turn the cells in your body to age more rapidly. The advanced health efforts of racism on African Americans or black people in America, are well documented, but the Auburn study focuses on its effects, the effects that it has on our DNA that is designed to protect the cells in our body. The results show a link between increased experiences with racism and discrimination and the more rapid shortening of those cells that protect our body, protect us, indicate cells begin to age. Therefore, if the cells are aging in our body, we begin to age. I just wanted to give you a small taste of that. I'll come back to that a little bit later. Make sure you vote. Let me know if you have a black doctor, whatever kind of doctor, but a black doctor, particularly your main medical physician. What's going on, Black Anonymous, from coming in the house? The Honorable Angelina Nordstrom. She has a new channel. Check out her channel. We got Black to the Basics in the house. Check out her. Beverly Palmer's in the house. I want to say peace and love to everybody again. So what I want to do to begin with this situation is that there's been some studies. There was a study at the University of Minnesota. There was a study where they took a large number of black men in Oakland, California, to talk to them about their experience with white doctors, doctors of other races versus black doctors. This same thing holds true for black women as well. And I'm going to touch on some things around black female physicians in a bit. But this holds true for black women. But overall, I'm going to just say this again, black women overall do a better job when it comes to really focusing on their health, how they feel, and verbalizing their issues. And the difference between women in general, particularly black women, is that they do a better job of, how can I say, advocating for their health issues. While men have been taught to internalize our issues, no pain, no gain, suck it up, you're a man, don't be weak, don't be beta, you got to be alpha, all that type of nonsense. While we're talking that type of nonsense, we're dying in the process of cancers, hypertension, diabetes, prostate cancers, all these different things. You have to ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you've had your health checkup, or you've at least got a blood test, or you've had some evaluation? You have to ask yourself that personally. Everybody in the chat room needs to answer that question for themselves personally. You don't have to tell your business out here on this stream today, but you need to ask yourself that personally. Now we got my man, Mr. Paul Bennett. I have a lot of respect for him, saying Afrocentric doctors a difference, but some African doctors have treated me worse than white doctors. Not everyone with black skin is your brother. Now, Mr. Bennett, that is true that not everybody that is your skin folks is your kinfolk, or everybody that is your kinfolk or is going to treat you the same. I would agree with what you just said, but the overall study speaks against what you just said. Because yes, you can have individual anecdotal experiences where you had a bad experience, right? But for years, black people have been culturally conditioned to see the white man's ice is colder than the black man's ice, and that anything that the white man has is better than the black man. And at one point in time, when we came out of segregation, black people ran to white doctors. They ran to everything that was a white establishment because they thought that it was better. And they thought that white doctors were better than black doctors. Now, you may have a personal experience, and I get where you're coming from. But overall, the data pairs it out differently, my brother. The data that I'm about to present today shows that overall, black men and black people in general, as well as black women, live longer. This isn't about whether the doctors, it's about overall, we live longer when it comes to invasive or non-invasive treatments. And we're more cooperative. And I'm going to show you in just a minute. I'm going to let the data speak for itself. But I understand where you're coming from. And I thank you for that super chat, brother.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Definitely thank you for that super chat. And here we go for you.
Thank you for the super chat.
Time to run it all. I wake up.
I wake up, flex, thumb down now.
Check.
No drip, this
Wet.
time to run it up. No sleep, no
Rest.
Might crash, might
Wreck.
but first die.
Stretch.
Time to run it up. I wake up,
Flex.
thumb down now.
Check.
No drip, this
Wet.
time to run it up. No no sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck, but first I time to run it. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy. Put in my hours.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Much respect to you. Let's get into the meat of the content because I'm glad you said what you said because you just brought us to the beginning of the program where it should be. Make sure you tell the truth always, ladies and gentlemen, and make sure you subscribe to this channel because we're going to keep doing what we need to do over here on the Information Man Show. And I appreciate everyone's comments, even if I disagree with them or agree with them. I appreciate because this is how we get dialogue going. Now, where does this all start, ladies and gentlemen? You say, wow, do black people fare better when it comes to having black doctors versus white doctors or other doctors of other race? Well, let me go ahead and go back to the very beginning when we were all born, as children. You know, when our mothers gave birth to us. As you see right here, you have a beautiful black baby in the back with the young lady and a black doctor seeing to that child. Well, let me let you know something about that. This is very important. I want everybody to know this. Guess what? This is how it all starts, ladies and gentlemen. You see, in the United States, black newborns die at 3 times the rate of white newborns. However, new research from the University of Minnesota found that black newborns in hospital death rates is a third lower than black newborns are cared for by black physicians. Let me say that again. New research from the University of Minnesota, and I'll tell you exactly where you can find the article. If you think that I'm just blowing smoke up, you know what, okay? The title is Black Newborns Die Less When Cared For by Black Doctors. That's the name of the article, and the study came out of the University of Minnesota, okay? The University of Minnesota finds that black newborns in hospital death rates is a third lower when black newborns are cared for by black physicians rather than white physicians. Their findings were recently published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science of the United States of America, PNSAS. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not about hating on other race of people. This is just the facts. When black babies are born, when we come into the world in general, overall, we stand a better chance when we come in the world overall. We stand a better chance of surviving in birth as a baby than we do if we are brought into the world by someone who is non-black, because there's some cultural anecdotes to this. This is just what has been put out in a study. And some people out there going to say, oh, you're hating. What do you mean? I'm sorry. This is the truth. And if you can't handle truth, then I don't know what to say.
Tell the truth.
Black babies stand higher chance of living when they are delivered and cared for in the beginning by a black physician. This is just truth. This is the rest of the study here. The study team included researchers at Harvard University and George Mason University, examined 1.8 million hospital births in the United States of Florida between 1992 and 2015. Now, that's when the study took place. Believe it or not, this has not changed today because I got more data for you. Between 1992 and 2015, it was found when black newborns are cared for by black physicians as opposed to white physicians, their in-hospital death rates is a third lower. And I had read that before. Let's go to this right here. These effects manifest more strongly in more complicated cases and when hospitals deliver more black newborns. So when there's black babies that are born with complications. So when black babies are brought into the world and they have certain complications, ladies and gentlemen, they stand a higher chance of surviving whatever complications that they're born into the world with when they are attended to by a black physician, whether it be a black female doctor or a black male doctor. This is what the study assessed this to be. Thank you, Ray Alexander, again for your super chat, my brother.
Thank you for the super chat.
Ray Alexander says this: cultural respect is also important in delivering of medical care, respecting the history and traditions of black Americans. Some foreign black doctors do not understand or respect black Americans. Very interesting. Yeah, there are cultural aspects to this. You're absolutely right, Ray. And usually people who come from the same culture, speak the same language, understand the same Norways, have similar religious practices and beliefs, are going to have a different sensibility than someone who doesn't come from your background, who doesn't know your background and understand you. So that there is facts in that statement. Now, the size of this mortality rate reduction would correspond to preventing the in-hospital deaths of about 1,400 black newborns nationally each year. Do you understand what that means, ladies and gentlemen? That means that the more black physicians you have tending to black babies that are born with some complications, in some cases, you have a higher chance of the child living and surviving, and you decrease a high rate of black children not making it to term, or not term, black babies not making it during birth. That once they're born, they don't make it out of the hospital with their family, with their mother, their father. They die right there in the hospital. And when you have a black physician, based on studies, not something that I made up, the children have a hell of a more chance of surviving in the long run at the end of the day. Let's continue on with more of the data. So you've seen that right there. Let me go right here. So what I'm trying to say to you, this healthcare disparity as it relates to the type of doctor you have starts at our childbirth and continues on into our adulthood as men, as women, when we may have some type of health condition and a black doctor may have a more sensitive disposition and bedside to our health plights. Now, this area is I want to go into relates to black men and our health. I'm going to read this to you, and I want you to hear this very clearly. In the United States, racial and ethnic minorities have higher rates of chronic disease, obesity, and I read about that, and premature deaths than white people in this country. Black patients in particular have among the worst health outcomes, experiences higher rates of hypertension and stroke, as I spoke and gave you the numbers before. And black men have the lowest life expectancy of any demographic group, living on average of 4 to 5 years fewer years than white men. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? Do you hear? It's about telling the truth.
Tell the truth.
Black men are living 4 to 5 years fewer years, 4 to 5 fewer years due to our health issues. Now, this is the problem. As black men, this is what we deal with. And I'm not saying that black women don't deal with mental health issues and physical issues themselves, but I'm particularly focusing on black men today because we're dying more than you. See, nobody sometimes gives a damn about black men. Really. And this is a hard pill to swallow, and people don't want to swallow this pill. Nobody gives a damn about whether we live or we die. We're just utility to be used for whatever we have, our resources, our strength. And because no one cares about black men, no one gives a damn about us. And sometimes we don't even give a damn about us. You can have a situation that you see right here where this young man is looking stressed. And this is called mental health issues, which can lead to what we just witnessed, where someone may potentially delete themselves. See, black men, we got to get our ass in the gym. We need to work out. If you're overweight, you can lose that weight. Start exercising. We got to start working out, getting in the gym, because we got a lot to think about. We got to think about our career, our life, what's important to us, right? Black man, if you have a child, if you don't get your health together, you're not going to be there to hold your child like this brother's holding his child right now. You're not going to be there to be able to hold and smile and see him grow up into manhood, see him get married. You're not going to be able to throw the football or see him play basketball, any of those type of things when you're not alive. When you're not eating well, eating fresh fruits and vegetables, eating the right foods, cutting down the cholesterol, cutting down on the high foods that are high in salt like pork. Don't be ashamed, black people, to eat your watermelon. It is great in antioxidants. And I'm not going to say that it will stop you from catching cancer. Let's just say there's people out there who believe that eating things like this can work as a preventative to lower the chances. But we don't, all these things have to be studied, of course. But eat your watermelon, eat your greens, your collard greens, things of that nature.
Tell the truth.
Cut down on the fatty foods if you can. Think about your relationships with your wife, your girlfriend, your woman. Spend time cooking good food together as you see them on here doing right now. Think about having less volatile, stressful conversations. You know that when we're on YouTube and we're on these panels yelling and screaming at each other, I've done it. I've gone off on people. It actually isn't good for your overall emotional health. Take the time. If you got a woman, cook with her. Cook a meal together. It's very relaxing. You see there, they've got some delicious foods on that table. But black man, get your ass in the gym. And even if you can't get in the gym, take a walk. And I'm going to be honest with you. Exercise is only 15% of getting yourself together physically. Believe it or not, it's actually 80% is diet. Even though exercise is important, but really the truth of the matter is that it's 80% diet, black man. Get it together, because you have too much to lose. You have a family that you can lose, a woman that's in your life like this brother right here. You have, and even more importantly, you have a child that you may not be around for because you don't want to get out there and change the quality of your life through your lifestyle and what you're doing. You have to do these things because these types of activities and taking a run or a jog can decrease hypertension, can decrease diabetes, can lower your cholesterol. It can help your heart. So many things that we can do to be preventative against these situations that we find ourselves struggling in. Do you understand what I'm saying, black man, black women out there? If y'all understand what I'm saying in the chat room, go ahead and give me the most glorious 7 numbers in the chat room right now. See, this video today isn't sexy to some people, right? I've got 59 people watching me. I don't have 100 people over here right now, or 200 or 300 or 1,000, because I'm not doing a polarizing show about what rapper got killed this time or what unfortunate situation has happened, right? But I'm talking about what really we have in control, we have under our control, which is what we do to decrease and prevent some of these potential things that happen to cause us to go to the doctor. And then when we go to the doctor, we may not have the right doctor in general that can deal with us. And when I mean go to the doctor, we go to the doctor when it's too late, when it's too worse, the situation is worse. Now we might end up with the wrong doctor who doesn't have the right bedside manner or the right cultural ideations to understand our bodies, in our mind, in our spirit. That's the truth. You're listening to the Information Man show, as I always say, ladies and gentlemen. And this is just truth that needs to be told. Now, let's get into this right now. I'm going to read this to you and definitely hear this clearly. This was part of the study. A number of factors contribute to these health disparities, but one problem has to be a lack of diversity among physicians. African Americans make up 13% of the United States population, but only 4% of the United States doctors and less than 7% of United States medical students. Of the active United States doctors in 2013, 48.9% were white, 11.7% were Asian, 4.4% were Hispanic or Latino, and 0.4% were American Indian or Alaskan Native. Research has found that physicians of color, I don't like that word, y'all know I don't like that word, but physicians that are black are more likely to treat minority patients in practice in underserved communities. That is a fact. Black physicians, ladies and gentlemen, do tend to practice in unserved populations more than any other doctors, black doctors. And it has been argued that sharing a racial or cultural background with one's doctor helps promote communication and trust. This is very important right here. Because part of the reason, check this out, part of the reason why trust is so important, because we already know that historically that black people have been experimented on by the medical establishment. We can go back to the Tuskegee experiment. We can go back to the medical establishment has made its bones off of testing, manipulating, and using black bodies. When we were in slavery, using us as guinea pigs for their tests and experiments. Remember, I did a video about the prison in Philadelphia where they were experimenting on black men that were incarcerated. What was the name of that prison? I did that video sometime back last year, but you all know it's on the channel. It was in Philadelphia. They've been experimenting on us. These are why, and you already know this. This is why that black people in general have a disposition towards trusting the medical establishment overall. Let me go over to the next slider. And here we go. And thank you for being here. I want to thank Jill's Chocolate Boutique, Big Dog Philly, Deborah Guns, Ray Alexander gave me another super chat, brother. I thank you.
Thank you for the super chat.
And Ray Alexander, let me do this for you, brother. Since you gave me another super chat, let me put that on the screen here. And my man, Black Man Unfiltered, gave me a super chat as well. So let me do this. Let me do this. I'm going to give everybody the super chat music and all that good stuff in just a moment. But let me do this. So Black Man Unfiltered gave me a $2 super chat saying, great show, my brother. Hey, thank you. Make sure y'all check out Black Man Unfiltered. He always gives me a welcoming over there. And we have, along with Mr. Bennett, who gave me a super chat earlier. I go over there. We have Friday Night Barbershop on his channel, and Tuesdays he does good shows. And sometimes when I'm able to, I go on his panel, speak my mind. He allows me to speak my mind. Everyone speaks their mind, really. And we get into it about a lot of hot button issues, but we do it in a very mature way as men. So I want to thank Black Man Unfiltered.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
And I also want to thank Ray Alexander, who blesses me again with a $10 super chat. And I want y'all to also check out my man, OG Philly OG, Big Dog Philly OG. I really love Philly OG. He has a channel. He does great, interesting, innovative, conscious conversation on his channel with many people. And I appreciate the brother. He's from Philadelphia. He knows the prison that I was talking about. Ray Alexander says cultural respect is also important in delivering medical care. Oh, I think I read this already, but I thank you again, brother. I think I read this. And Miss, oh, wait a minute, Ray, this is the other one he gave. He's saying having healthy, loving relationships, supportive systems with family and friends is also important to a person's physical as well as mental wellness. Ray Alexander, $5 super chat. Thank you. That's the one I wanted to catch.
Thank you for the super chat.
Then we got Keedy G. Thank you for being here. And M. Mills, Sister Mills gave me a super chat. And I want to thank her. She gave me a super sticker, which I love. Super sticker. Super sticker. Super stickers.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
That's right. Thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you, my sister. I'm going to give everybody a super chat celebration in a minute for everybody. Thank you for that super chat. This is a very important stream, maybe one of my most important of the year. These streams, because I know how YouTube works, these kind of streams don't bring a lot of people because people don't want to deal with information and issues that make you look at yourself in the mirror. And this is going to make you look at yourself in the mirror. We got another one. My man, that's right, Larry. Anything Goes LLC gave me a $10 super chat. I really appreciate that, my brother. And with that said, let me give everybody that super chat celebration music all at once to knock it out with one bird. And here we go.
Thank you for the super chat.
Time to run it off. I wake up.
I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, just wet. Time to run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Time to run it up. I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, just wet. Time to run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Time to run it up. 9 out of 10, roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for those super chats. I really appreciate that. Let's get back to the presentation at hand. Once again, thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all again. So now, as we get through this right here, let's go back to it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the further the research simulates the potential health gains of the greater take-up of services that result from having a same-race doctor, combining the findings with those from other studies about the health value of treatment. They estimate that having more black doctors could reduce the black-white gap in cardiovascular mortality rates by 19%, ladies and gentlemen, and the overall black-white male health gap in life expectancy by 8%. They concluded that giving the current supply of black doctors a more diverse physician workforce might be necessary to realize these gains, ladies and gentlemen. This is the truth. This is the truth. And I'm going to say it again, whether people like it or not, because it is the truth. Black men are living 4 to 5 years fewer years, should I say, 4 to 5 fewer years of life due to these health disparities. And with having black physicians that are competent, black physicians who really have a great disposition and understand our health, our bodies, our mind, and our spirit, we can live a lot longer. This is not to say that black women do not have their challenges when it comes to health, but we have to be honest and say that we know that black women in general, not just black women, but women in general do a better job. I'm repeating this because I want to emphasize this, that women in general do a better job of dealing with their health issues than we do. They get more checkups. They stay on top of their checkups. While we just feel like, hey, if it ain't no pain, it ain't no game, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And you're dying inside. And I'm going to say it again. one of the most important things that we should be concerned about is our family, not leaving our families behind because we didn't think the right way, leaving our wives. You won't be able to do this anymore, black man. You won't be able to be in the kitchen laughing and giggling and cutting up some nice food or watching a program. You won't be able to do that. You won't be able to hold your babies. Do you love your babies? This is the challenge to you. Do you love your babies? Do you want to be around to kiss them like he's doing? Do you want to be around to hold them? Do you love your babies? Do you love yourself, black man? Have you taken a walk? Have you exercised? Have you taken a jog? The question again is, do you love yourself? Because if you take care of your car better than you take care of yourself, you got a problem.
Tell the truth.
You see, I've seen this before. You got people that will make sure that their car get a checkup every month. They make sure their car get oil. They'll make sure that when you get in their car, you can't eat in their car. You can't slam the door a certain way. They'll wax their car with turtle wax. They'll wash their car every week. Woo! They make sure their shoes is shiny. You got brothers out here that get the latest sneakers. They're nice and shiny. Man, you better not. But when it comes to themselves internally, they don't do anything for themselves. What difference does it make to have cars, jewelry, women, or even fancy clothes or sneakers if you're not taking care of the most important thing to you? That's yourself. You are the biggest commodity, not those materialistic items, because without that, you can't even enjoy those materialistic items. Let's go back over here. Now, I know I'm being preachy, but the truth is truth. Let's go to the next slider. Better communication between same race patients and doctors appear to be a key to the driving of these results. Now, I got another super chat by Eugene Steele, and I'm going to read that super chat. I'm going to be respectful. And Eugene Steele, I think I see you a lot over in Black Man Unfiltered's channel. And I believe Sir Hale Speaks Network. And I appreciate you coming over and super chatting me. Eugene Steele gave me a $10 super chat and said the medical field is a critical field where black are needed. The data you present really sheds a light. It comes down to this. Let's hear it. How many black people want to be in a critical field? How many of us want to go to school and become a doctor and work in these kind of fields? And I'm gonna give you the data, my brother Eugene, that shows you why we don't have a lot of black doctors and some of the economic challenges that trying to become a physician or these critical fields as you speak of sometimes impacts our people. But I appreciate you, and therefore I'm going to do this for you. And here we go.
Thank you for the super chat.
Information is power.
Thank you for the super chat.
Tell the truth.
Thank you for the super chat.
Tell the truth.
All right. Tell the truth. Tell the truth, everybody.
Tell the truth.
Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that again.
Thank you for the super chat.
And everybody that's here, I see we got Back to the Basics. We got Golden Melanin in the chat room. Just Natural here. Empire Dust Till Dust. That's a hell of a name. I love it, man. I love it. He says this. Let's hear what the brother is saying. He says, I want a qualified doctor. I don't care if it's even Chinese. Now, look, I'll say this to you, my brother. I'll say this to you. At the end of the day, you want a qualified doctor. You're absolutely right. And I said that earlier. I said, you want a competent doctor. So overall, you want a doctor, no matter what race they are, to be competent. But I'm simply saying, brother, because I think you may not, I don't know how long you've been watching the program today. The data shows that black men overall respond differently when they're dealing with a competent doctor, a competent black doctor, and that overall black men tend to respond to taking on treatments a lot easier, such as getting prostate checks, getting certain medical examinations when they're dealing with a black doctor who's competent, because of the cultural, and the black doctor who's competent is able to talk to a black man in a way that other people can't talk to him from a cultural point of view. So it becomes an issue of trust, my brother. See, let me let you know something. In America, black people, I'm talking about black people born in America. I don't know if you are a brother from the Caribbean or from Africa, but black people in America, there was a history of distrust of the medical systems because they were experimenting on us. And they've experimented on us all around the world, including Africa, including the Caribbean. So because of that distrust, sometimes black people, and particularly black men, will say, no, I don't want to have that test, because you feel like they're going to guinea pig you. So they're saying overall in the study that overall, when you have a serious condition or when you're taking tests and examination, overall, black people feel more comfortable with black physicians today. And overall, when you have a serious condition, black patients, black men in particular, as well as black women, stand a higher chance of surviving under the care of a black doctor when it comes to serious medical conditions. That's what the data in the studies that were done at Harvard University, done at the University of Minnesota, that's where these things are coming from. Harvard Business Review did this study, which I'm using. Research having a black doctor leads black men to receive more effective care. This was part of Harvard's Business Review, where they reviewed the Harvard School of Medicine, reviewed these things. I think the University of Georgia was also involved in these studies. So I just want to put that out there, because people that are coming in a little late may not be aware that this is the overall view. Doesn't mean that you can't find someone who happens to be black that's not a very competent doctor. You can find very incompetent doctors in other race of people. We got the Egyptian goddess in the house saying hello to everyone. Hello, sister. I really appreciate everybody coming over so far. Let me get back to the presentation at hand. So, better communication between the same race patient and doctor appears to be a key driver. And what's going on? The empowered. We got the Empress Goddess is in the house. Good to see you here, sister. And we got Christopher Davis in the house. Who else is here? Deborah Guns. Just a lot of great people in the house, and I really enjoy that. So let me come back over here and get this off of here. Back to the Basics has just given me a super chat, and I'm going to read your super chat. I'm taking my time today. I'm going to read the super chat. And Back to the Basics gave me a $19.99 super chat. I'm going to make sure my little nephew knows about the importance of nutrition. We must be our own advocate. Ladies, we must be a part of supporting, encouraging our men when it comes to health. Now, look, I'm not going to say that black women have not encouraged black men to get off our dairy asses and go see a doctor. The problem is, and this is going to be a tough pill to follow. The truth of the matter is, it's great to have women that encourage us. But the truth of the matter, black man, is that you shouldn't need a woman or anyone to tell you to get off your butt and go see the doctor, eat better, and get yourself examined. Especially for a lot of you brothers on the YouTube streets who run around here calling yourself alpha. If you're an alpha male, guess what alpha males do? Alpha males, the last time I checked, alpha males do exercise. They go to the gym. They work out. They may eat a nutritional diet. I'm talking about real alpha males, not these pretend guys around here. You know what I'm saying? They're not afraid to embrace their child, right? And things of that nature. They're going to take care of themselves. A real alpha male, if he's struggling with some issues around mental health, they're going to seek help, because as an alpha male, you want to be at your most ultimate health, mentally, physically, and spiritually. You're going to go get some help. You're not going to sit up here like this guy and look stressed out of your damn mind. You're just not. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
I'm just telling you the truth. Some people ain't going to like it. But truth is truth, ladies and gentlemen. And so let's get back to this as we get close to, let's get back to this. So I've said this. It's obvious that if you have someone of your cultural background, the conversation is going to be a lot better with them understanding what's going on with you. Patients were more likely to bring up other health problems when assigned to a black doctor, and a black doctors were more likely to write notes about the patient. Furthermore, while talking to their doctor, increased take up of non-invasive screenings, meaning being willing to get your blood pressure checked. Your blood sugar checked, being willing to take like a flu shot. Now, I know there's some people who won't take the flu shot, but in general, that's where you're more willing to take on other types of examinations when you have a black doctor who is competent, knows what they're doing, working with you. I'm just telling you the truth. Let's come on with this slider right here. Research found that now check this out. This is very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Researchers found no significant difference by doctors' race in the initial take-up of screening services before patients have spoke to their doctors. However, after patients and doctors had a conversation, a black male patient assigned to a black doctor had much higher take-up of screening services, as I said before, than those assigned to a non-black doctor for diabetes, for cholesterol screening. For example, being assigned a black doctor raised the probability of percentage points, which was an increase of 50% or more relative to the baseline rate of screenings for blood pressure, BMI were higher. So when you have a black doctor who's competent, of course, you're more likely to get a better BMI reading. What is a BMI? Well, when you go get your blood pressure check, when you go get a screening for prostate cancer, and black men in particular will sometimes do something about our makeup of our body. Maybe it's our melanin, but sometimes black men will have a false positive when it comes to those prostate cancer tests. And so some black doctors that are competent may have a better understanding of that than a white doctor, because from a cultural point of view, they understand that there's a different body chemistry or different things that black males are more acceptable to. There are things that black people are more acceptable to. Like you have things like sickle cell trait, things of that nature. It happens with other people, but it's some things that are more prominent with us. Black doctors may have a better understanding of our body makeup if they're competent, of course. Let's go back to this now. So, and I just want you guys to understand this. This is very important information that we're talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the next slider, shall we? Now, I'm going to break the numbers down to you right now. Here we go. This is a chart. This is legitimate. This is from the study. Does doctors' race matter when it comes to the utilization of preventable or being preventable medicine? Or in this case, preventative medicine, right? Black patients opt in when it comes to preventable or preventative healthcare screening recommended by a doctor who is competent and looks like them. Now, look at this chart right now very carefully. On the one hand, it shows non-black doctors. On the other hand, in blue, it shows black doctors. Check this out. Blood pressure. When it comes to blood pressure, black men are more likely to cooperate with a black doctor when it comes to the blood test, going to get your blood pressure test. Black men are more likely on this scale at 60%, 80% for the blood pressure test, at 60% more likely to accept testing for diabetes when they have a black physician talking to them, someone that can talk your talk. And let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, that you have programs in barbershops where you have doctors, black doctors. How many of you ain't going to have white doctors or Asian doctors or other race of people that live in the community or going into the community to the local barbershop? How often do you see these other race of people who are physicians going into the black barbershop trying to talk to black men about their health while getting a haircut? And talking sports and talking all the talk that we talk in a barbershop. I have never seen it. Most barbershops that I've been in, I have been in barbershops with black physicians who are in the barbershop trying to get black men to get their prostate cancer test, trying to give us some information while in the barbershop, while kicking it in the barbershop with black men. You don't get that in any other group because there's a cultural understanding. And there are programs across the country, or there is a program where they have black doctors go to the barbershop to talk to black men about prostate cancer, hypertension, to get us to change whatever we're eating, whatever we're doing. There's no other doctors in the world that are doing that exclusively in the black community, but black doctors. Should I say amen?
Tell the truth.
Getting back to the chart here. So we're more likely to cooperate with a diabetes testing. Because let's keep it real. Sometimes we don't cooperate with testing. We just say, hey, I'm fine, I'm leaving. Or we don't even go. When it comes to cholesterol and getting that tested, black men are 60 times more willing to cooperate with that at 60%. And when it comes to body mass index, that meaning being checked and examined to see if you're way overweight, black men are close to almost about 70%, to almost close to 80%. In the blue, where you see the blue mark, that's the black doctor. Black doctors are able to convince us to take on more of these examinations and tests than we normally would take on if we had a non-black doctor. Because the black doctor, who is competent, by the way, may go the extra mile to talk to us about this in a more deeper way than someone who is none of our race. That's what the data pairs it out to be. And once again, I'm talking about competent doctors, not just any kind of doctors that know what they're doing. This doesn't mean that white doctors and other doctors of other races don't ask you these same questions, or that they don't convince you to take a test. This is not what we're saying today. But the studies are bearing out that black men are more acceptable to doing and cooperating when they have someone that looks like them, who talks their language. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's the same across the board, across all races. White men, Asian men, other race of people feel more comfortable with doctors that look like them, come from their cultural background. So it ain't just about a black and white thing. It's the same way with all the other racial groups because of the cultural connection. You have to understand that. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Let's go over here. Now, let's get into the meat and the sauce here. The LY analyzed this. This is a study. They did an analytical study, L and Y. The data from the survey of the L and Y analysis, the LY analysis, or analyzed data from a survey administered by the United States Census Bureau. This is the Census Bureau. I'm not making this up. From the 1900s to 2018, the sample included about 150,000 physicians, including about 3,300 black male physicians and about 1,600 black female physicians. They found that in the 1900s, when 11.6% of the nation's population was black, 1% of its physicians were black. This is printed April 19, 2021. That's a very bad disparity. That means that we don't have enough black physicians in comparison to our white, Asian, and other counterparts. And we got to ask ourselves, why could that be? Let me also touch on this when it comes to black female physicians. When it comes to black female physicians, black women who are physicians, that are doctors, that are out here doing the damn thing as well. And we are actually, believe it or not, as much as we do a lot of talking on the YouTube streets about this whole gender war stuff, still remains the fact that if you have a black physician, whether she be black female or male, and you have some serious situations, you stand a higher chance of being saved by a black physician, whether she's a female or a black male. But let's talk about the black female for just a moment as it relates to these numbers. Now, black women, this is in the MPW, black women account for less than 3% of United States doctors. Is healthcare finally ready to face racism and the sexism that goes on in it? It's hard to solve racial inequalities in healthcare or any other industry when you barely employ any black physicians or black people. Interesting. Let's go into this a little bit deeper. The low percentage of black women doctors represent a broad and long-standing problem in medicine. Only 36% of doctors are women overall in our country. Okay, overall in our country. That's of all races. So that's overall women that are doctors in this country. Across board of races, 36% of doctors are women of any race. According to the Association of American Medicine Colleges, only 5% of all active physicians are black. So that's black men or black women across the board. Compared with 13% of the United States population is black. So we make up 13% of the United States population. Only 5% of us are walking around here as certified, competent doctors. 5%. Okay. Now, let's go over here and let's look at this right here and be able to pay. Now, you understand why we have a shortage of doctors? This is the reason why. About to pay for medical school. The issues comes down to, can you afford to go to medical school? That's why you have people who have the intelligence to go to medical school, but they may not go to medical school because they're saying it's not worth it. All the years of study and all the debt you're going to have, and then what you end up getting paid in the beginning, and you may not make a lot of money until you're well into the years of your field as a doctor. Some people are opting out across the board not to even become a doctor because they're just saying it's just not worth it. But when it comes to black people in this particular area, economics do play a role into why you don't see a lot of doctors. Not only do you have racism and you have sexism and you have certain prejudice and biases, right, in these medical schools. That's certainly a factor, but you also have a cost analysis factor. To pay for medical school, applications also have to fly across the country. Applicants have to fly across the country for interviews and pay for test prep, meaning tests to prep them for their exams, and fees for the tests themselves, in a process that often costs up to about $10,000. That's just a prelude to the average medical student's graduating with a $200,000 debt. So after you spend all that money prepping yourself to get into medical school and all those years in medical school and traveling around taking on interviews that you're paying out of your own pocket. When you graduate from school, you may graduate with a $200,000 debt. This could be a contributing factor as to why people may not be going to medical school, and particularly black people. It costs money. And we know that black people in general in this country, we don't have generational wealth. OK, and even those of us that are in the middle class to upper middle class, if it even exists anymore, or that are in a class where we have money, sometimes our kids, young people, don't want to go into medicine. They just don't see it being worth it in the long run in terms of the economic debt that will hang on their neck. Even though the rewards can be great in the long run, but we live in a world where people are not very patient. We live in a microwave world where everybody wants to get money right now and live the lavish life right now. Coming back to this is very important. In 2018, NYU started relieving some of this cost for its medical students by guaranteeing free tuition. This is a great thing. This is in 2018. Can you imagine how much more expensive medical school is in the year 2023 today? We're talking about major money here. Let's now, I'm going to tell you something that's going to surprise you. Everybody in the chat room, let me see what the poll says. So, do you have a black doctor? 31% of you said yes, and 69% of you said no in the chat room. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a guess right now. I want you to write in the chat room. Where do you think most of our black doctors are being produced? Where's most of our black doctors being produced? Are they being produced at historical black colleges, HBCUs, or PWIs? Put it in there now, and then I'm going to ask you another question. Where is the majority of our people making it with their medical degrees in terms of finishing school and going out into the world? Is it the HBCUs or is it the PWIs? Okay, Deborah Gunn says HBCU. Peggy says Atlanta. You're going to be surprised, Peggy Roster. HBCUs, yeah. Let me put this on here for you right now. Look at this right here, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. 70% of African-American dentists and physicians earn their degrees at HBCUs. Check this out. You may not know this one, too. 50% of teachers, 50% of black teachers that teach in public schools get their degrees from HBCUs. Teachers, 50%. 70% of black people in the medical field, particularly dentists and physicians, earn their medical degrees at historically black colleges. That's right. Now, some people in the chat room said Atlanta, HBCUs. Yeah, HBCUs. But the majority, this is where black people, what HBCUs do they get their medical degrees from? Which one? What schools? I'm going to put it on the board in just a minute. Let's see. Really didn't know that was the case. Yes, it is the case. And I appreciate you coming over to the channel. Let me give you a breakdown right now. This is where Howard University in Washington, D.C. is amongst the nation's top medical school, but Xavier University of New Orleans is the census leader that produces the most black medical school graduates. So Howard University in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, they produce medical students as well. But it is Xavier University that produces the most black medical graduates right now. We're talking about Xavier University. That's right.
Tell the truth.
Let's go over here Now, let's break this down. Black or African American students make up 11.3% of people who matriculate their first year students in 2021, up from 9.5% in 2020. A particular note, this is important, are that there's been an increase. Ladies and gentlemen, let's clap it right now. This is breaking news. There's been an increase among black men first-year students from this group, an increase by 20.8%. So out of that 11.3% of black medical students that are matriculating through the system of becoming a doctor in their first year, there's been an increase. Now this intick in 2021, it went up from 9.5% in 2020, right? Up from 9.5% in 2020, right? 11.3% matriculating through the system in 2021. There was an uptick from 9.5% in 2020, and currently black men. This is very important. Black men, very important. I'm going to put this up here right now. Black men have increased in becoming doctors at 20.8%. There's been an increase in black men first year students from this particular group out of that 11.3%. That has increased by 20.8%. I believe that is significant considering the fact that it's very expensive to go to law school. It takes money. A lot of people don't want to become physicians. There's also racial barriers, prejudice barriers, biases that we have to deal with. I just told you earlier that black people are also dying at a higher rate, particularly black men, because there's a health statistical study that shows that dealing with racism and racial bias and prejudice that black people have to deal with, and particularly black men, it ages the cells in your body and speeds up the aging process, speeds up the stressful process, which means we're dying because racism and living in this society with racism is impacting our cells in our body, which is speeding up the aging process and therefore speeding up the process of taking us out of here. The study is called Health Statistics for Black American Men, concerning health statistics observed amongst black men. Black men in the United States suffer worse health than any other racial group in America. That's the statistics right there. But the study about racism shortening the life of black Americans is titled New Study Shows Racism May Shorten Black American Lifespans. I'll put in the description of this video links to these articles so that you can read them for yourself. The study results link stress from increased experience with racial discrimination to more rapid aging in African Americans. African Americans who reported more experiences with racial discrimination are likely to age faster, adding to evidence that racism is not only a social and moral dilemma, but also a public health issue, according to an Auburn University study published, that it ages the cells in your body. I talked about that earlier in the show, but I'm reading it again for people that are coming in late, and I will put this in a link in the description of this video. And I appreciate you all. Let's get back to the meat and sauce of everything. So this to me is a great thing for us to consider as black people. This is, we want to deal with the mental health. We want to deal with our physical health by jogging, running, exercising, doing something. And remember, your health, eating, 80% of your health is your diet, 15% is exercise. So what you eat is truly important to your survival in the long run. Black man, black woman as well. So very important. I hope you all got something out of this stream today. I hope that I was able to, get people to think a little bit about their own personal health and what they're doing with their health. I really appreciate everybody in the chat room that's been listening. Would have been nice to have more people watching the stream today, but I understand that this is once again a topic that when you go live, people want to sort of run away from it, not deal with it, because it causes it's designed for you to look at yourself in the mirror and really evaluate yourself fully. So I thank you all out there for your support of this channel all the way through. Of course, maybe I'll be doing a more polarizing subject matter next week that will bring more people over. But this had to be done. I've had to talk about this issue, very important issue. I had to talk about, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate that most definitely. Make sure that you definitely always tell the truth and shame the devil. You know what I'm saying?
Tell the truth.
And I hope that you got something out of it. If you got something out of this stream today, put a 7 in the chat room so that I know that, this video, this content, the information was helpful to everybody. I want to go over this again about the racism part. I'm going to read this to you again before I end this. Our results point to how racial discrimination, particularly types of social toxins that disproportionately impact African Americans, black people, becomes embodied at the cellular level. Man, maybe I need to do another show on this. David Chase, director of Auburn Society of Health and Racial Equality Lab, who led the research team, said in a statement, nearly 400 African Americans from Birmingham, Alabama, Chicago, Minnesota, and Oakland, California participated in the study, which began in 2000 and was published in the Journal of Health Psychology. At the time the study began, they were 40 years old. A psychology professor at Georgia State University and the leader of another study on racism and aging publication published in September said that the Auburn study results are in line with the growing body of research on the role of racism and how it plays a role in lowering the life expectancy for African Americans. She said that over time, the experience of racism and even the chronic worrying about it. So when we worry about racism, when we put a lot of energy into it, it can cause significant wear and tear by increasing one's all holistic load, the lifelong buildup of stress, which accelerates aging and puts African Americans at greater risk for chronic illnesses. If we start thinking about racism or racial discrimination as a chronic social stigma, it fits in with all our models, both medical models and psychological models, of what happens when your body is never able to reach a balanced state. She said your body is trying to find that balance. And this is why we got to concern ourselves with our mental health, ladies and gentlemen, and our physical health. Very important. Exercising and our emotional health. because we just don't know. We just don't know what could possibly happen. But the results, Carter said, point to the sum conclusion that racism effects on the mind and the body warrants further examination, experimentation, in terms of further studies, should I say, not experimentation, but further studies. According to the Auburn study, participants experienced racial discrimination on the streets or in the public more than anywhere else. The two next most common settings were in the office or while trying to get hired. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the truth.
Tell the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to consider, not telling you what to do, but I think you should consider finding a competent black doctor, if possible, or just finding a competent doctor of whatever race they are. But in general, finding a competent black doctor can go a long way in keeping us living. Because if you could find a black doctor, black female doctor, black male doctor who understands you culturally, understands your language, how you talk, how you move, understands that there's certain things that the black body does that's different, and they're going to have a different sensibility about you, it's well worth it. I thank you all out there so much for listening. I want to thank Pharaoh X for listening. I want to thank Mike B for listening, Deborah Guns for listening, Ray Alexander, who I think super chatted me earlier again. And he says this, he's saying, Eugene, still also the fact that there is a large number of never married black men that are married tend to be healthier and live longer because of the companionship, emotional support. That is right. I want, you know what? You took the words right out of my mouth, Ray Alexander. It has been proven, not only black men, but in general, men live longer when they are married or in healthy relationships. I'm going to say it again. This whole notion that was put out there on these YouTube streets that, oh, women are going to die by them. No, black men are dying by ourselves. We live longer when we're in, I'm going to say it again, in healthy marriages, in healthy relationships. We live longer with companionship. It helps us physically, emotionally, and spiritually. He's absolutely right. I want to say thank you. I don't know how to make out the name. Thank you. What's that? Zordith 4 or 4? I think it also breaks down to dominate your area. Our people need to support our own. Facts. Thank you for putting that up there. Thank you if you're new to the channel. I thank you for coming over. Thank you for what you just said. We got Golden Gold in the house. I want to say thank you for coming over. Deborah Guns, Jill's Chocolate, Boutique. Brother Mike B says, I have one, but the issue is that there are not too many out there, so they are overwhelmed. Yeah, right. They're overwhelmed because I showed the numbers today why there's not that many. One, there's a cost analysis to it, a cost to become a doctor. Then there's the access to medical school. It costs a lot of money. And also people are choosing not to go to medical school because they don't feel that they want to deal with the debt. But I also said earlier, Mike B, you might have missed this, and maybe you didn't miss this, that there's an uptick in black men becoming doctors at 20.8%. So black men, although there's only 3% of black women that are medical doctors, and hopefully those numbers will go up, black men are taking an uptick and trying to become doctors. That's a good thing. Howard University and Xavier University graduates more black doctors than anyone, HBCUs, but Xavier University is the consensus leader in graduating black medical students. It's a fact.
Tell the truth.
We got my man Mandrell in the house saying, shout out to you, good brother. Hey, shout out to you, Mandrell. Thank you, Mandrell, for coming over. And I want to say this, Mandrell. See, Mandrell, this is how it works, brother. If you have a conversation about black male health or any issues around health that means we got to look at ourselves in the mirror, Mandrell, right? That means as black men, we have to look at ourselves in the mirror and think about what are we doing with our health, right? And when you do this type of content, Mandrell, a lot of people don't come over for it because I've been saying this all day. You're forced to look at yourself in the mirror and look at what you're not doing. And when someone like myself is doing this type of content, people don't want to look at themselves in the mirror because now you have to say to yourself, I'm going to have to be accountable to myself and what I'm doing. Am I eating the right foods, Mandrell? You also have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, do I want to be alive for my child, for my family, for my loved ones, right? Do I want to be alive to be able to have the smile with my child? That should be the first thought. Do I want to be alive to be with my spouse, my girlfriend, the person that I love, or a family member? Do I want to be alive for all of that? And too often, we don't want to deal with what I call the truth, Brother Menzel. We don't want to deal with that. Mandrell, we don't want to deal with the truth, Brother Mandrell. We don't. We don't want to handle it.
Tell the truth.
And we run away from it. But the truth of the matter is, if you don't do any of these things, you ain't going to be on YouTube talking much longer. Your YouTube channel ain't going to be you're going to have a, check this out. This is what's crazy about it. You're going to have a YouTube channel. It's just that your ass ain't going to be around to operate your YouTube channel. Your YouTube channel's still going to be there. All your videos are going to be there, but you ain't going to be there to operate it no more. You ain't going to be there to have no panel discussions. You're not going to be doing anything in the real world no more. So no matter what race your doctor is, you still need to take your own health into your own hands, black man. But you also have to get, if you get competent black doctors, you have a higher chance of living longer with competent black doctors, not just any a competent black doctor. And when I say competent, that means across the board, competent in all race of doctors. But this program today specifically talked about the benefits of having competent black doctors to your long-term emotional, physical, spiritual health. We got Alan Christian, who's just super chatted me and given me a beautiful $65 super chat saying, continue to preach the good word information, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the super chat.
And let's hit you with this one.
Thank you for the super chat.
Information is power.
Thank you for the super chat.
Tell the truth.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate the super chat. And I know, Empress Goddess, that it's hard to find a black doctor depending on where you live at. I get it. I get it. It is difficult because there's not that many. They are a small number. I read the numbers to you today in terms of the number of black doctors. Let me go back. Let's go back to this again. According to the Census Bureau, from 1900 to 2018, and it still remains similar today, 150,000 physicians, including about 3,300 black male physicians and 1,600 black female physicians, found that in the 1900s, 11.6% of those national population was black. 1.3% of that population as physicians were black. So 1.3% of our 11.6% of the nation's population, black doctors make up 1.3%. So that's the reason why, one example of many, why you don't have black doctors where you may live, depending on and it depends on the population you live in. If you live in a place like Atlanta, Georgia, where you have a lot of educated black people in that particular place, that particular city. I'm sure that there's a good number of black doctors in Atlanta, but you might be living in a place where you don't have the black population, or you may not have the black population that has that level of education living in that particular place that you live. It just depends. These are just some things to look at, to assess as we get ready to close out this show today. I really appreciate you all coming over and being a part of this show. Make sure you share this. This is not one of those videos that people really want to hear, because it, once again, as I said, it makes you look at yourself, and a lot of us don't want to look at ourselves. Eddie's in the house, says hello to everybody. Hey, hello to you. Appreciate you. Back to the basics. Good to see you here again. Let me go to Peggy Roster. She says, where I live, is nothing but Asian doctors. I saw one black doctor years. I've been living for years, and I've been living. Yeah, because the population in San Francisco, the black population has dwindled in San Francisco. The black male population, it's all dwindled. Black people are becoming almost or damn near disappearing in San Francisco. I have to go to Savannah or Jacksonville. Oh, Jacksonville, Florida. Okay. Wow. That's interesting, Empress Goddess. Got to go all the way to Florida for that. Wow. But you're out there, I think, in Georgia, so you can drive over to those states. Interesting. Wow. All right, everybody. Hey, Mike B, thank you for your support. I appreciate you. You always come over and you come in. Information man, you always spitting fat. Hey, thank you. I really appreciate you. And I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I wasn't going to make it a long show. We've been on for about an hour and 41 minutes. I've taken up most of your time already. And I wanted to everybody enjoy the rest of your weekend. Tell someone you love them. Definitely go get your checkups. You know, no matter what race your doctor is, if you got a good doctor, no matter what race they are, and your doctor is attentive to your needs, your issues, get your checkup, get your health on, right? But if you happen to find a black doctor who's on that same level of being attentive to your needs and your issues, it could end up as a bonus for you. Just keep this in mind. For people that's listening to this stream, excuse me, this is a study that was done. It's based on an overall general study. Doesn't mean that you can find a doctor that's black, white, Asian, doesn't matter, and they could be rude to you, they could be terrible, and you got to replace them regardless, right, of what their race is, right? But just remember, this is an overall general study, and I appreciate you all out there for listening to the show today. So everybody have a great day. I'll see you around the YouTube streets soon again. I'll be back with another stream next week, and we'll keep doing. And by the way, I have a sports channel. For those of you who do like sports, subscribe to Prime Sports Media. You'll find the channel connected to this channel page. Just move the channel down, and you'll see the face with Deion Sanders on there. And it's just a sports channel. I'm doing a little sports channel. That's all. It's just a little sports channel. I'm loading up videos. I'm doing uploaded videos and all that kind of stuff. And I want people to subscribe to the channel who particularly like sports, because I know if you like sports, you're going to watch the videos. Okay. So that's what I want to solicit people who truly like sports are going to watch the videos. And I appreciate you out there. So that's Prime Sports Media. I appreciate you all out there. You take care of yourself. This is the Information Man Show. Y'all take care. Thank you. Here we go.
Tell the truth.
Peace. Take care, everybody. Peace. Oh, let me also say this too to everybody out there that's been wondering. The other channel that I have, Info Media Live, I will be launching content on that channel. I took a little bit of a break from that channel. I'm going to recalibrate that channel. Most of the content that I have on that channel is evergreen content. So, this video I did today is evergreen. This video will last forever. It will be relevant forever. Okay. But the Info Media Live channel, I will be uploaded videos and premiere videos on that channel very soon, giving you more information on how to build a YouTube channel, how to build an audience, the whole 9 yard. We'll be doing that very soon, so don't give up on that channel. And once again, if you like sports, check out Prime Sports Media. On that channel, I'll be talking about basketball, football. I'll be centering the channel around what's going on with Deion Sanders and his journey, through his coaching journey, the whole 9 yard. So everybody out there, again, I want to say it to you again, peace and respect. All right.
Information is power.
Take care, everybody. Peace.
Information is power. You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Information is power. You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
truth.